Good afternoon. I'm here to share with you this vintage, sort of Jane Austen type journal that is made from a recycled book. Before I do the flip through, I wanted to answer a couple of questions that people seem to be asking repetitively about how you go about repurposing the book. So here I have taken a similar size book. The first thing that you do in the way that I'm doing this, where you're adding your own signatures, is you gut the book. And what I do is I cut very close to the text block. That's what this stack of papers is. I cut very close to there and remove the entire text block. And then I flip this open this way and I use a metal ruler and a craft knife, and you can see I can get a very clean edge here. And now that you have the cover, you have a couple of decisions to make. Do you like the spine? Do you want to preserve it in any way? If you do, then you need to reinforce the spine from the inside. And the way that you can do that is with some of this Kraftex. You can take a Tyvek envelope, and there's been some questions, what is Tyvek? It is a plasticky paper material. It's lighter weight, but is of the same kind of material that they use to wrap houses. And it's very, very durable and strong, very hard to tear. So you can cut a piece of, this is an envelope, you can cut a piece of that to reinforce it with. But one of my favorite ways to reinforce, because very rarely do I like the spine, it doesn't mean anything to me, is that I use this Line Co. book repair tape. The tape itself is super sticky, like duct tape, and this is a cloth material. And I wrap that around, as you can see I've done here, and I prefer to sew through the signatures. If you are wanting to preserve the spine, and not see the sewing, you actually would sew through your Kraftex type material, grunge paper, whatever you're using, and glue that in after it's sewn so that your stitching is hidden. But that's just a couple of little pointers. So the other thing that people do is they go, okay, so what about this text block? What can I use it for? Well, it can be the book cradle that you use to punch your holes. You lay your signature in here and use this to punch your holes. You can use the pages to make some pockets and embellishments, which are in this side, this journal. The other thing I use them for is what I call a glue book, and not a glue book in the sense that you're preserving anything, but as I'm gluing small items inside my journal, I'll lay them on here, spread my glue, pick up my item to put in my journal, turn this over and press it down, and it glues that, and that keeps me from getting glue everywhere. So it's that kind of a glue book. So let's get to the journal. The cover is the same as that other book. It's a repurposed Reader's Digest. The spine has been reinforced with the Line Co. tape. As you can see, there are 3 signatures, 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I didn't do anything to this cover. I liked it. But there's 4 layers of trim applied as the decoration, and Tim Holltz corners. This has got all sorts of scrapbooking paper in it, and I had a big folder full of leftover pieces of vintage looking scrapbook paper, and I can't tell you what books these all came out of. This is some of my Jane Austen digital art. This is a rectangular doily that's folded in half, and it makes a pocket on this side, and then it's wrapped around so it'll be a pocket on the other side. More of my Jane Austen inspired paper. This is a writing paper that I designed, and there's a very faint floral image in the background. You can see here that I used part of a dictionary actually on this one to make part of the pocket. And then there's another small pocket here that was a die cut pocket, and I just backed it with a cut doily that was this color to begin with. And then I just have a few pieces of ephemera in here, including some of the tags that I had created for another project. I think this is part of the Queen Bee ephemera from ephemerasvintagegarden. This big, large postcard thing here is one of the ones that I had designed for a coffee journal that I was making. Paper bag. This side has a pocket. This side is just decorated. These are some funny petals that were in the floral department at Hobby Lobby. And a little writing surface here with a pretty lady from Pinterest. I know this is an Anna Griffin paper that was gifted to me. This is one of my favorite sort of flip outs. It's created from a envelope that the bottom's slit, the flap is underneath here and covered up with paper, and then I have two cards in there, and they can be turned in either direction. They're writing surfaces, but they're also decorative. Basically, the way that works, I'll show you quickly, is you take your envelope, and there's a couple of tricks about this, which is why I'm showing it to you. You're going to glue the flap down and slit the bottom. This red line represents where you put your glue. You have to be sure that you don't glue here, or your pocket's only going to be that deep. So you very carefully put glue here. You don't want to get it into the crease. You don't want to put paper into the crease because it'll bind, and then it won't want to, the flap will not work correctly. But then you just put your decorative paper over the top. I usually also put decorative paper here on the page because this is glued to the page, and then decorative paper there, and my card slips inside here, and you can decorate it or not any way you want to. This particular card here, that's a decoupage napkin. All of these digital pages were created by me. This is a die cut pocket and decoration that comes in the same kit. Just some little writing surfaces. Another side of a bag. This one I just added two little envelopes with little cards on the inside. More of the book paper. Paper bag. With some writing paper and a tag in it, and then another one of those little die cut pockets. This one I didn't put the doily or other paper under, so you can actually see the actual size of it. This is another one of the little tags I created. That's the other side of that doily, and another one of the postcards that I had created. This was a decoration on a piece of scrapbook paper that wasn't big enough to actually make a page out of, so I just fussy cut that out and made it into a tuck spot with just some writing areas and another one of my tags. Underneath this doily is actually glued to this page is the flap of an envelope, because you can also sew the envelopes in, and you'll see the pocket on the other side that's created by that. Another piece of ephemera that I cut out, two little tickets, and some writing paper. This is a very popular thing. I've seen it, several people use this. I don't know who invented this. Deli Girl, 1961. YouTube channel is where I last saw it. It's just a piece of paper that's folded. These lines are created using a corrugated piece of cardboard to create the lines, and you can find that on YouTube. The difference is that of mine is that I don't like those folded pieces up here. It was just distracting to me, so where I had folded the paper over like this, I just cut a piece of paper out and matted it on top to match, so that you didn't see that. It's a really easy fold. You take your length of paper, you fold it in half, fold this down to meet it, and then decide how far over you want this to be so that you can catch it on an embellishment, and fold this down. It doesn't have to be the same length. And dog ear in your corners to make your flap whatever you want. It could be that, or it could be pointed, you know, just depending on how you fold these in. You can create whatever flap makes you happy. But it creates a nice little writing place, and then if you only glue it in on 3 sides, it's also a nice little pocket. More of my postcards that I created in 2 different sizes, the 3.5 by 5 and the 5 by 7. Another one of the pockets, this is the large envelope which I told you the flap was glued down on the page that was then covered by a doily to make a pocket, and then that way it was sewn in the spine at the area of the flap. And that's another decoupage napkin. And this is another flip, just with the card turned the other way. And I put a little writing area on the front of that envelope, but it's glued in exactly the same way. The flap of this envelope is right under here. This is another envelope that is sewn in, and I love this little trim, but when I turned it out, I kept tearing it, so I just did this edge punch on another piece of paper and turned it inside and glued it down, and then that way I get the pretty decoration, but I don't have to worry about these little pieces catching on anything and tearing. Another lady from Pinterest. This was supposed to be a page, and my book was too thick and I could not use this page, but I like the little pocket here in the writing area. So I just cut it down a little bit and put it in a tuck. This envelope, this is the one that had the flap on the other side that I kind of covered up. And so it's a pocket, but then I also added another little envelope to make another pocket. That's that die cut pocket again. That was just a journaling card that I made into a pocket and cut a tag out of some of the paper that I was using. This is 3 layers of the book paper together to make this a strong pocket, and then another little envelope on top. I also just take a regular piece of paper and, you know, just using Word on my computer, I just type out a whole bunch of words that I might like to use and have them on hand, and when I get to a spot where I want to add a word, I just cut them out, ink them up, and glue them on. This is also a tuck spot. This is just a decorated envelope. Neither side has a tuck. More writing paper. This is another one of those folds. This one, the card's turned in again, and I actually added a library pocket on the inside of this one with another one of the little pretty girls here. And this is another trick. I loved this lace paper. I used the last bit of it in this journal. I wish I had some more. And it wasn't long enough. So I just created a tuck spot up here to disguise the fact that I didn't have enough paper. Another envelope sewn in, and this one has a double pocket on the back made by taking a little paper bag and folding up the bottom to make this pocket. And then the envelope, remaining part of the envelope is another pocket. If I had reinforced the back of the paper bag, I could have had a third deeper pocket. Another one of those words. Another pocket on this side of this envelope, bag. And this was supposed to be another page, and now it's writing paper. The last of the flip outs. that brings us to the end of the journal. I hope that you enjoyed seeing a few things here in the little, very short tutorials about the flip out and the folded page and how to deal with your cover. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.